Flower friends, welcome to Ask a Flower Farmer. It is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler, and I have such excitement to tell you guys about. I don't know, wait a minute y'all, I'm kind of adjusting my camera. I decided to make the light a little different. We did something really exciting on my flower farm today. Hello everybody, welcome to Ask a Flower Farmer. And before we jump in to the Ask a Flower Farmer part, which is that you can post questions here and I will do my best to try to answer them. Anything about growing cut flowers, cool flowers, seed starting, growing stuff, harvesting and conditioning, whatever you've got. We're simulcasting on TikTok and Instagram. And on Instagram, we have that little bubble at the bottom of your screen with the question mark in it. That's where you can put your questions so they don't get away from me as the comments or the people's names are flying past, right? And in TikTok, if you get a question, please just post it in the comments and I will scroll back to them. And I love it when you guys share our live broadcast. That helps us so very much and helps us to do this even more. So I appreciate that very much. So again, in Instagram, post your questions in the bubble. On TikTok, just post them in the comments and I will do my best to go back and find them and answer them. So, and we'll do this together for about 25 or 30 minutes. But let me just tell you what happened here on the farm this morning. So we did something this morning that we have been trying to do for almost a year. And that is, I don't know if y'all know that we do on our shop app, that's a phone app that we have that's free to get. We do a live gardening show a couple times a week. Plus I do pop-ups, unannounced shows. So we have really been wanting to do a show from out in the field, out in the actual garden, right? But, any tech people will understand this. It has to be hardwired. I mean, there's not enough stream for good quality video without a wire. So we got a 300-foot quality wire or cord cable, whatever you want to call it. And so we just had a lot of little hiccups and bumps. Well, guess what, y'all? We did it this morning. You can actually watch the replay inside the app. And y'all, it was the garden is gorgeous. The fall harvest garden was just beaming with bumblebees and beautiful blooms. And I got to, it was just so great, y'all. It was just so great. So I encourage you, if you haven't already got our app, to get it, it's free. Just go to your phone's app store, search Gardener's Workshop, and download the free shop app. Oh, here's somebody. This morning in the app was fun. It was an extension of the Cool Flowers Workshop. Oh, thank you so much. So you can go to your phone's app store, search Gardener's Workshop. We have two apps. You're welcome to both of them. They're both free. The shop app is where the live from the garden show happened this morning. And so here's the thing. If you have the app, you want to be sure, if you want to catch a live show, you have to have your notifications on, because we don't really schedule, we can't really schedule from the garden. It's all weather dependent. It's dependent on the light, the sun, and where it is. So we just do them unannounced. And the only way you're going to know is if you get the notification, and it's got to be turned on your phone. So grab the shop app, and like tonight I do a regularly scheduled 8 p.m. Eastern time live show inside the app at 8 o'clock, and tonight it's like all about snapdragons. So you can join me there, and then you can also join, watch the replay from this morning. I've only watched about 10 minutes of it, y'all. I was squishing bugs in the garden live. I'm quite a hand picker, pest killer of certain bugs, and my number one enemy was, we came across a bunch of them, and they aren't there anymore. I'm happy to report. So before I jump in, I see we have some questions coming up. I wanted to show you, we are now, so this is September 10th, and my my first expected frost is mid-November, so that means that we are in high season of starting cool season hardy annuals, better known as cool flowers. We're in high cotton around here. So here is one of the trays from our first seed starting. This is Rudbeckia. Which one is this? This is Maya, and she was started on the 3rd, so these are 7 days old. And Rudbeckias, which are black-eyed Susans, we grow about 9 different ones as cut flowers, are slow growers. They're just like Lizzie Anthashaw. And so they're always like our ceremonial first start. So we have 9 trays of black-eyed Susans that are being born as we speak. And she was the furthest one along. And I just want to encourage you that if you don't know about, Cool Flowers is the name of the book that I wrote about this family of flowers. We're talking about sweet peas, snapdragons, sweet William, bells of Ireland, just some of the most beloved flowers, right? So if you don't know about that, check out my book, Cool Flowers. I will tell you there is limited supply. We were notified by our publisher yesterday that they went from a high inventory down to less than 100, which we ordered. So get a book if you need one. But we also have resources. And if you're on Instagram, if you comment steps, there's a free webinar that you can get. And it's just on Cool Flowers. So check that out. And so let's see, I've got some questions over here. So let's jump on and start answering questions for folks. All right. And let me look over here. I don't want them to get too far ahead of me over here. And love it, guys, when y'all share the live, especially on TikTok, because they don't keep the live to watch later. So we have to invite people while it's actually going on. I don't see any. Oh, somebody just downloaded the app. Oh, great. And I'll tell you that the Learn app, which is what hosts my private membership and my online courses, you can download that one, and there's a free online course inside there on how to build that tunnel trellis that you'll see a little glimmer of on the live this morning. We're planning on doing, now that we've done it, we want to do a live in the tunnel out there. It's just so cool, y'all. All right. All right, Ann says, so these hairy balls still haven't made the balls on the top. There's lots of flowers. Just keep waiting on them. The balls in the middle are turning brown. And just wondering if something went wrong and I need to take out the bed. Thanks, I appreciate all you do. So Ann is talking about Gumpacarpus physocarpus, which is hairy balls in the cut flower industry. That's what it's known as. And so Ann, I don't know when your first frost is, but we're still waiting too. I was actually just looking yesterday, and I have aphids so bad. We have to give our hairy balls bubble baths when we bring them in because the aphids are so bad. But I'm waiting for the blooms at the tip. I mean, if you aren't under the threat of frost, it'll just keep developing. And it's those blooms at the top half of the stem is what I'm waiting on. So I wouldn't pull them out for sure. I would not do that. But that could just be it. All right, let's see. I'm worried I won't be able to keep Bupleurum moist if I direct sow, so I'm starting them indoors. In the Cut Flower Handbook, you say that you prefer to direct 6 to 8 weeks before first frost. How much earlier would I need to start them, and would I need to transplant them 6 to 8 weeks before first frost? So Brittany, yes, so the 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost is for planting as a blanket rule, all cool season seeds and transplants, no matter what they are. That's kind of like your jumping off point. It's going to be hard to get Bupleurum to germinate inside. They need cool temperatures. And so you're going to have to experiment. It can be done. Obviously, people have done it, but it just takes a lot of whether your refrigerator is really too cold. It's like that 55, 60 degree point. So yes, you would just need to have transplants ready to go in the garden, and I think you might be fine. I think if I was going to try to start them inside, I'd still plant some outside. The thing about Bupleurum that people struggle with, and I struggle, and when I discovered this, it stopped my struggle. First off, if you, and I can never remember, does Bupleurum get covered with soil or not? It does. I'm just thinking out loud to myself. So you plant the seed out in the garden and you water it in. And if you're saying that you just cannot water it every day for 7 days to try to get it to pop when you plant it at the proper time, that would be the easiest way and probably the most successful way. But here's the thing about Bupleurum that messes people up. Bupleurum sprouts when it first emerges. It is such a thin little leaf. It's like, and it's dark. The stem is like burgundy colored almost. And it's like you just don't even see it. And everybody thinks that their Bupleurum hasn't sprouted, but in fact their Bupleurum has sprouted. And now that once you see it, you'll be a hawkeye on it. But I think that, you're on the ball about when you're supposed to plant it. So yeah, you can try starting it indoors, however long you think that'll take to grow it. But I would also plant some outside at your proper time, and then just do the best you can watering, because Bupleurum gets covered with soil. You might think about just laying down, planting them properly, watering them in really well, and then covering it with a row cover. Or burlap. It really retains moisture. And that might let you water every other day. But I learned this from Dave Downing. We used to never water our direct seeded stuff. And we had good germination, but it wasn't quick and it wasn't great. And so you can get away with it. So that is just my 2 cents worth on that. Kim, I was unsuccessful with Tweedia last year, so trying again. Started seeds last week. Should I have waited until very early spring? Thanks, Lisa. Love the live show. Oh, Kim, I'm so glad you were there. So Kim is a frequent flyer. So many of you are. Kim's in the club, and anyway, so I'm glad. I love just bringing different pieces of what we do here on the farm to everybody. And I'm so glad you were in there. Tweedia. So let me get the book. It's right here. I'm all ready for my show tonight. Tonight I'm doing a show on snapdragons. So let's see, what does the Cut Flower Handbook, is it even in here? I think it is. Gosh, y'all, these botanical names make me crazy. Does they make anybody else crazy? All right, so I'm looking in the Cut Flower Handbook, which is my book from last year, which has everything we need. Oh my gosh. All right, either it's not in here. You think I would remember these things, but I really don't. We make so many resources. I don't think Tweedia is in here. It's not. Because we were really, you have to remember, books get written like 2 years before they actually get published. And I had only grown it for 1 year. Just trying to think. We have great germination. We always have a lot of transplants. So, to answer your question, Kim, if you're in 8A, just like me, we wintered it over with lightweight row cover. So when you say you're unsuccessful, I don't think you're saying you were unsuccessful sprouting it. You were unsuccessful getting it to survive. So I've done it both ways and have had great success. And again, that's one of those, if it's something I really wanted, then I would try it in the fall, because they, are just taller and easier and all that. And then just plan on starting them again in January. Just because you start a seed as a backup doesn't mean you have to plant it, y'all. There's no planting police that are going to come and say, you can't compost those seedlings. I'm telling you, you get really kind of hard on this stuff as life goes on and you're farming, because you just realize how beneficial it is to, like, all right, those snaps look a little wonky. I think I'm going to restart that tray. But then by the time they grow up and ready to be planted, it's like, oh, those snaps look kind of great. What happened, you know? And it's like, I would not plant the second tray most likely, because we never have enough space. We have to really stay in our planting plan to be able to have room for everything that we want to grow, right? So Kim, I would say do both, but you don't have to plant the very early spring if you don't need them. If the ones for fall, because if it's very early spring, you're probably like me, mid-February, take a peeky poo at them, and if they look bad, plant the new ones, and if they don't, just leave them and let that tray go, is what I was thinking. And just thank you so much about the show. So we launched a new show this morning for anybody that was just joining us. Inside the Shop app, we did a live from the gardening show. And it was even in this misty weather. And that was really just interesting. We really should have had someone videoing us for the first time out there trying to figure it out. We have to drag a 300-foot cable because it has to be hardwired for live streaming. And anyway, the two sisters were pretty funny, and I'm pretty sure there were bad words said, not on camera. But yeah, we tripped, got wrapped in the cable. It was really pretty exciting. So glad you guys enjoyed that. Now let me just take a little peek over here. So if anybody has a question, I see there's another one over there. I'll be right to that one. All right, so let's see what our question is over here. We got a couple. Hi, love the live today. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to see so many of you guys were there. I know that we had a good viewership, especially for a weekday, mid-morning, totally unannounced. And again, if you don't want to miss the next live from the garden, then you need to turn the notifications on inside the Shop app, and that'll ding you when we go live. I love the live today. Just happened to catch it while looking for something to listen to while making my beds in the garden. This year, I have many small red bugs on some triloba. Do you know what they are and how to get rid of them? So Joanne, no, I do not have any idea, but let me just tell you about a free app that I use all the time for identifying insects, even weeds, even flowers. But, you know, I know what most flowers are, but it's the insects and the weed, and it's free. It's you have to go to your phone's app store and search Seek, SEEK. And it's by iNaturalist, and it's a great little app. So, you know, you can aim your phone and take a picture, and then it'll come up and it'll say things like, this is a member of the XYZ family, or it'll say, you need a better picture. It needs to be clearer or closer, you know, because it's identifying through the image. And then it actually catalogs what you take pictures of. So like you can look back and see what bugs you looked at or had before. It doesn't really offer solutions about them. Then I go to trusted resources, but I will tell you, so if it's this time of the year, it could be anything. And you just need to keep in mind, Joanne, that 99% of the insects in the world really are not harmful. Meaning they are not going to kill your plant. They might cause holes, they might do some things, but most often their population will pass. We kill more plants with treatments than the bugs do killing the plants. And of course, every insect, mostly, I can't say every, I shouldn't say every, most insects are very significant to some other species in the world because they eat them. You know, it's that whole food chain thing. So even though it's not important to me or you, it may be important to somebody. So I would get a definite ID. That's where you always start first. The Seek ID is where I would start. And if you get a good picture and it doesn't know what it is, then I would send that picture to my local extension office and say, hey, I'm a local gardener, farmer. What is this? And they typically will recommend some kind of pest control spray or something, but we just don't do that. And then I figure out, why do I have that pest? Is something attracting them? Is it just this time of the year? But typically we just kind of ignore them. My book, Vegetables Love